I know I got a skid steer. I know I got a man lift. I know I got a dump trailer. I know I got all these things that I bought and paid for and own, you know, the good equipment and all. And I don't feel like I'm using the stuff to the best of my ability. But you have to peel back the layers a little bit to kind of see why that is. The biggest factor on why I don't run the Bobcat during the summer is because I don't have time. Another big factor is it's hot as hell out here. And when I'm out here for 5 or 6 hours, you know, running the roads and dealing with the freaking humidity, dealing with the heat, dealing with the customers, dealing with the help, dealing with the payroll, dealing with the scheduling, dealing with the bids, dealing with all these things that I have to do because I didn't know what I didn't know what I don't know. I'm a one-man freaking show out here. Some people might think that, well, that's a dig. That ain't a dig. That's the truth. I do everything. So when people come at me talking about you ain't working but 3 hours a day, Ray, you couldn't be no further from the truth. I don't take the Bobcat out this time of year, and there's a couple of reasons why, and I'm going to tell y'all why, and whether they're valid or not, this is my thinking. Whether it's valid or not. Number one, time, which goes back to labor, which goes back to me having the ability to hire guys that are stand up, and how many guys am I going to have to go through to find one or two? I would love nothing more than to have a general manager take care of all the lawn care stuff, the hiring, the firing, everything. I would love that, because that's my weak point. I've been in business long enough to know what I'm not good at, or just a few of the things I'm not good at. Probably a lot more I'm not good at coming down the pipe at me that I don't know that I'm not good at yet. But it's going to reveal itself, I'm sure, just like everything up to this point has. So a lot of things I'm not good at. But the reason I don't run the Bobcat is, number one, time. Number two, the machine I have is a small machine. It's a Bobcat T190. The machine I have has 4,000 hours on it, okay? I'm scared, y'all. I'm going to break it, man. I'm scared I'm going to do something with it that is going to just destroy the machine, blow the engine or something. I'm scared that I'm going to have a major breakdown that, well, if I'm running the Bobcat and I'm making $3,000 on a job, and I have to market the Bobcat work too. I don't have a lot of people calling me in the heat of the summer for Bobcat work. Now, there may be more work out there than what I'm doing with it. I know there is, but I don't market it because I don't have time. I don't have time because I don't have labor to take care of the lawn care stuff. I don't have time because I don't want to take time to sit in a freaking Bobcat in a 105-degree heat. And all the things that can go wrong. There's a lot that can go wrong when you're pulling a Bobcat around. Yeah, but Ray, you can make a killing with it. You can. And based on the time that I run the Bobcat, I do. Can I do better? Always. Always can do better, man. Always. It's never, ever content. No, I'm never content. I can always do better than what I'm doing now. I want to do better. I want to learn. I want to make big boy moves, you know? But at the end of the day, I'm afraid with the Bobcat that with 4,000 hours on it and counting, and it's an older machine, it's a smaller machine, it can't do everything that I want it to do or need it to do in order to make a lot of money. I can make good money with it, but I'm not marketing for Bobcat work because I don't have no freaking time. And I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired, man. It's fucking hot out here. I'm tired. And just because I got the equipment doesn't mean that I have to run it every day. Because if you don't have the equipment, then you ain't going to run it every day. Right now, I got probably $5,000 worth of Bobcat work that I can do. One job, I'm waiting on a stupid dumpster. A dumpster. But and nothing I can do about it. And I'm trying to do the Bobcat work or schedule the Bobcat work, find a dumpster in the midst of me doing 100 lawns a week. And all the other things that can break down, like the little mower, the truck. One of my trucks is in the shop. I might have to buy another truck. I don't want to buy another truck, but I'm gonna have to probably. These are the things that I'm going through that that somebody that just comes in and looks at a video here and there don't really understand. You know? The reason I can bank money is because I keep my expenses down to a minimum. And I fix a lot of my own stuff. When I bought the Bobcat, the thinking was that I would, do the lawn care in the summertime. And then instead of me doing firewood for peanuts, which is what I used to do, and and instead of me, scurrying around worried about everything like I used to do in the wintertime, that I would have a piece of equipment, an older piece of equipment that I could, get work from my regular customers during the summer and schedule it for the winter or the fall. That was the plan. But again, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't realize that I could make so much money with the Bobcat if I could keep it running. When I first got the Bobcat, I put it in things that the machine had no business in, breaking shit left and right, costing me to do somebody's work, having to pay the piper, having to pay the price of learning how to run the freaking machine, not just the physical controls of the machine. Anybody can do that shit. I'm talking about putting that machine in a scenario where it can make money and you don't break it or break a part on it or something. And if you've never ran a Bobcat before, like that was me, and never even ran a track machine before, that's what I had to learn. Those are the lumps on my tater that I had to take along the way. Busted in the mouth every time I turn around. I'm having to fix something on the Bobcat. A lot of you guys have been watching the channel long enough, y'all know that. I've only had the skid steer about 4 years, something like that. 5 years. But it's paid for, and it can and it can sit in my shed. I don't know if I'd call that a shed, but it can sit in my shed, and when I have time to run it, I will. Until then, I'm gonna have to. I don't know what to do. That's where I'm at. Well, maybe just go hire somebody. I don't know about where you guys are from, or whoever's saying that, what y'all's labor pool looks like. But for you to hire a guy out here in the lawn care game to come out here in the end of mid to end of July, August, they few and far between. They are. Well, Ray, how do you know that? Because anybody coming off Granny's couch to come out here in the 110-degree heat, they ain't gonna last, and it's a waste of my time. I don't want to waste my time any more than I already am. I don't want to train somebody out here for 3 or 4 days, getting a fraction of the work done because I'm having to show somebody everything, and then only for them to get a check and quit because it's so hot and their body's not ready for it. You don't come out here, on the fly and deal with the kind of heat that's out here in where I'm at. Your body has to get accustomed to it. I don't care how old you are, it affects you. Or young you are, it affects you. So finding help is a little bit harder than you might think. Now, I can look in the mirror and I can say to myself, and it would be true, hey, Ray, you can find somebody. You just got to search. You got to do what is uncomfortable for you to do. I got Francisco out here. Francisco has been a blessing. I'm very grateful and thankful for Francisco out here. He is great. Love me some Francisco. It ain't about money. Because we make good money. And I pay good money. Not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about when I hire people, well, the money is not the most important thing to me when I hire somebody, how much money they make or whatever. The most important thing to me, are they reliable? Do they have morals? You know? Used to, I didn't give a damn. But you see, I've had to migrate away from that for the business to even halfway grow. When I had Bo out here, well, that's the only help I'd ever seen, ever known, didn't even know. Yeah, that's all I ever knew. It was all about how much money I could make and how much money I didn't have to pay out. But I've learned in the last, 3 or 4 years that having the right help is paramount if you're going to do this kind of work like I'm doing it. You got to have good labor. You got to have guys that will come to work. You got to have guys that will do the right thing when their back's on the wall and they have a choice between do the right thing or the wrong thing. And that's, and that's really true. Now that I've said it and I think about it. I don't know, man. I know that it's a learning process, and I'm learning every day. And I'm doing the best that I can based on what I know and from the experiences that I have. And I know I don't know everything, not even close. And I know that if I ran the Bobcat more, I can make more money. But if I run the Bobcat more, the Bobcat could break down too. For me to run the Bobcat any more than what I'm running it now, I'm going to have another machine. I'm not willing just to dog that machine out and it end up costing me more than what I'm making. Because there ain't no $100 fixes on the Bobcat. What happens if I go out there, just think about this. What happens if I go out, and it could happen with any piece of equipment, I guess, but it's more likely to happen to an older piece of equipment. What happens if I go out there on a $3,000 job and I get out there on the job and the engine blows in the Bobcat? I mean, that could happen to this truck sitting here right now. Not likely, but it could. It's a lot more likely to happen with the Bobcat and with the hours it's got on it and everything. So then I'm on a $3,000 or $4,000 job, and I'm thinking I'm going to get a paycheck, and at the end of the day, I got a big liability. Because now I got the Bobcat down in a fucking swamp somewhere, engine blown, not worth nothing. Going to cost me to get it out of there. Going to cost me to fix it, whatever's wrong with it. And then I still got to finish the job. See, that's why I'm so skeptical about what jobs I do with my skid steer. That's why I'm so funny about it. Because I don't want to take no huge hit. And I know that being out here, it's a business of small gambles, calculated risk, and all that. I get it. And that's what I'm saying now. I take calculated risk with the Bobcat based on the hours that it has, and what the job's paying, and where the job is, and what the scope of the job is with the Bobcat. Some jobs I'm just simply not going to do with the skid steer I have. I want to try my goals. I have a lot of goals, and I might not talk about the goals a lot in the regular videos that I do, but I have a lot of goals. And the number one goal I have is don't make a bonehead move to cost me a bunch of money. That's right up there with the top goals. Don't screw up what you already got going. I would say that's probably number one. Don't take unnecessary risk if you ain't got to. Sometimes you just have to. You know, y'all know I'll do it. But when you put together the time factor, the heat factor, and all the mowing clients that I have and the mowing guys that I have working with me, when you put all that together and then you look at the money that you're making, why would I take a chance on a 15-year-old Bobcat when I don't have to? Because if the Bobcat goes down on a job, well, I'm screwed to a certain degree. Because then, guess what? My back's on the wall then. On the wall. And I don't like my back to be on the wall. My back's on the wall because then I got $30,000 worth of attachments that I can't even move without another machine. Well, Ray, if you're going to live in fear, there ain't no sense in even having a Bobcat. I'm only living in fear behind this Bobcat, this skid steer, this 15-year-old machine with 4,000 hours on it, 4,100 hours on it. So I had to pick and choose the jobs that I take with it, you know, and based on that and the time that I have, you know. But the plan, the goal, is to get another machine, one a little bit bigger that's enclosed cab, that's got an air conditioner, where I feel like going out and doing work with it. I don't want to be in the freaking heat all day with the machine. During the oh man, you need to toughen up. I'm as tough as they come, man. I've gotten to this point. You think all this was easy? You don't think that I've had to labor out in the heat all these years to get what little I do have? You don't think I remember all the times I've been on the side of the road fooling with a freaking trailer hub on the interstate with cars flying by me in a POS truck that I was lucky it would even start? See, I remember all those things. I remember how hard it is to make positive moves and to gain traction. I remember all that like it was freaking yesterday. And I don't want to be back there because I'm not 35 no more. And I should never have to go back there. Certainly not behind a thinking move that I may make that I didn't do enough thinking on, and I pulled the trigger or did something that was gonna freaking really detriment the business or my forward thinking. It ain't gonna do it, man. I know that I'm never gonna have 30 employees, and you know, that's never really been my goal. I never really thought about what my goals were, but that's never been my goal. My goal has never been to be, you know, to have 25 or 30 employees. I couldn't imagine that. What a freaking nightmare, you know, based on the help that, and I'm only basing it on my my little experience with help, with just 1 or 2 or 3 guys at the most, right? I might be all wrong about it, but I ain't got time to be figuring it all out. I ain't got time to grow a business to 60 or 70 employees. I ain't got time for that shit, man. I gotta take the short route. And the short route to me is keeping my overhead down and banking my money to be able to invest in other things. I know I'm never going to make $1 million out here in the lawn care game. mean, I guess it's possible, but not likely. My goals are pretty simple. Pay my house off, and we're getting there. My shed back here, I only owe $10,000 on it, and that's, as you see it, $10,000 is all I owe. $208 a month, no interest. I'm 10 years away from paying for the house, but I could pay for it early. I could, and I'm gonna try. So when I do get older than I am now, I don't have all these big bills. My house is paid for. So then I don't have to make 20 grand a month. But when you come from where I come from, nothing, you know, it's, well, it is what it is, man. I just know that I've you know, I've been extremely fortunate throughout the years, and nothing's really major happened to me out here. I've been extremely fortunate, and you know, any moves that I've made has not, bad moves that I've made has not been detrimental to the business or to my confidence, because that's another thing a lot of people don't ever talk about, is if you take a big hit in your business and it bankrupts you, you might not ever, you're probably never going to be the same. Maybe, but maybe not. I want to live in a preventable world. You know, if there's a big risk that I'm going to tear something up that's going to cost me $4 grand, and I'm on a $2,000 job, I'm going to weigh that. I might just turn down that $2,000 job and wait for a $1,500 job to come up with the skid steer. For now, I'm going to buy another skid steer, y'all. Trust that. And I could go buy one right now, but I don't make rational moves and rational decisions in this freaking heat when I got all these moving parts all around me in the lawn care. I'm not going to do it. I don't have time to sit down and really study what machine I'm going to buy. I want to get one of the TL8s, you know, the Takeuchi TL8s. You know, I was going to buy one a couple years ago. You know, what do I know about equipment? They said that they would have one for me last November. Nothing. Can't even get in touch with the freaking salesman now. It's okay by me, because, well, what am I going to do? Buy a brand new TL8, $70,000 machine, and sit it in the shed, looking at how pretty it is while I'm having to spend all my time mowing grass? That's my thinking, right? Making payments, paying interest, all that shit. Having to find the machine, you know how long it, I don't know if anybody really knows. I know some people know, but do you realize how long it really takes to find a machine that that has everything you want it to have and is in your budget and is available, no matter what the brand is? I'm talking about on the skid steer plateau. I ain't talking about no lawnmowers. I can go buy a lawnmower from the dealer tomorrow. That's not what I'm talking about. Buying a lawnmower is a lot easier than buying a skid steer, because buying a lawnmower is not a lifelong investment. It used to be for me, but it's not no more. That shows you that I'm scaling up slowly but surely. I bought 2 lawnmowers this year. I have. But when you go to spending $70,000 to $80,000, and that's not even for a big boy machine or nothing. I mean, that's just for something, a step up from this T190 I got. It's a lot of money, and it's a move that if you don't do it right, you could end up with a piece of junk equipment, which I'm not. I'm gonna buy brand new with a warranty. And the more money I got banked up, the better I am. More money ain't never hurt nothing. Well, Ray, you making money every day, blah blah blah. I am. And I'm banking a lot of it too, but I have to pay my bills. I have to buy lawnmowers for the mowing business, and I have to, buy trucks, apparently. I have to, pay for everything. I don't live on credit. I have very, very, very little finance in this business. I got 3 things I owe money on. The building, the mower I just bought, and this truck. Of course, I'm gonna have to have a truck no matter what. So, whether I'm working for the band or working for myself. And I know this video is getting a little bit long and winded and blah, blah, blah. Probably said the same thing 100 times. But this is my thinking. This is why I think like I think. And it all goes back to fear of failure. I'm a realist. I can look in the mirror. And I'd rather take baby steps. Well, let me word it like this. I'd rather take surefire baby steps than big leaps that could cost me everything that I've worked so hard for. There ain't no time for me to rebuild. There is no plan B, y'all. No plan B. This is it. And if something happens with this business, I'm ruined. It ain't got nothing to do with YouTube or the social media thing. I don't even, I never even really, when I think of social media, I think of, Facebook and stuff where it's more social, where it's more, personal stuff. But, what do I know? There's a reason for everything. And maybe as I get a little bit older, maybe I'm being a little more careful than what some of you guys would be. Right? When I was 35 and 40, I was not very careful. Sometimes it worked out for me, sometimes it didn't. But I didn't have as much to lose then as I have now. A lot more to lose now, and it can, and a lot more to that can happen now because of all the things, of all the equipment, of all the customers, of I ain't trying to lose all that shit, man. Well, it's just material things, right? Who gives a shit? You can look in the mirror and you can tell yourself that, but without equipment out here, you ain't shit. Nothing. If you don't have the equipment it takes to make top dollar, you ain't nothing. I don't care if people believe that or not. I know that to be true. If you can't get equipment or don't have equipment, you're in trouble. Or if you lose your equipment, you're in trouble. And that goes for lawnmowers, weed eaters, blowers, bobcat attachments, all the way to the freaking trucks and trailers. It's the truth. The older I get, the more calculating and more careful I am. Not because I'm scared, maybe a little bit, but because I know all the stuff that can go wrong. I know what can go wrong out here, or a lot of the things that can go wrong. I'm sure there's some shit that I don't know. Sure there is. But each day, I try to be better than I was yesterday. Each day, I try to earn money it takes to make it through that day, regardless of what I made yesterday. Another problem that we're having out here, I'm just being honest, is that we haven't had rain in a minute, right? And that has a two-pronged effect on me. Obviously, if we don't rain, the grass don't grow like it's supposed to. Obviously, if it don't rain, it's hotter. Okay? Those two aside, what ends up happening with me, since we're pretty efficient, is I end up running out of work. Well, Ray, that's a good thing. You can run the skid steer. Right, but I don't never know that. It's hard for me to plan that because I never know if it's going to rain, or not. When we're able to work every day for 3 weeks straight, we start getting low on work because number one, well, we're not having no days off. Number two, not no weekdays off. And number two, is the grass is not growing like it's supposed to. The bushes ain't growing like it's supposed to, and there's nothing to do on some of the properties. But you don't never know that until it actually happens. I don't know that it's not going to rain for the next 3 weeks right now. It might rain all day tomorrow. I don't know. So every day that it doesn't rain, we're doing work. Y'all saw I had Zach doing when you start seeing me doing stuff around my house, that means we're running low on work. We're ready to go get more work. Sounds easy. It really does. But sometimes going and getting more work might cost you more than the work that you're getting when you're in July, August of the summer. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to pick up any more lawn care customers. I ain't saying impossible, but 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to pick up a lot of lawn care customers in July, August. Not within here where I'm at. It's possible, but probably not. And then as soon as I pick, say, I pick up 10 lawn care customers, 15 lawn care customers. Right? I mean, I got them all scheduled. I'm ready to go. Right. Based on the weather where we're not having no rain. And then all of a sudden we get 4 days of rain. Then what do? See what I'm saying? Now I got 10 lawn care customers that I added when times were slow, during the summer, that I, magically added, which is, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, I've been doing this long enough to know that. I just look like this. I done added 10 customers on during a dry spell, if that's possible. And then it rains, and now I'm so far behind that I can't even keep up with the original 80 or so customers that I had. Because I'm trying to keep everybody busy. I'm trying to, make more money. Sometimes to me, when you're in the heat of the moment, like the summertime, and that's the way I see it, and I might be wrong, you have to weigh all these things. Because if we're out there doing an extra $300 and a lawnmower blows up, that $300 ain't shit. Sometimes you got to reel back just a little bit, check out the lay of the land, if you will, and try to plot what jobs you're going to do and what you're not going to do. I've been trying to do this this that pine tree cleanup job over there for 6 weeks with the Bobcat. Couldn't get a dumpster. Finally, I got a dumpster coming for next weekend. It's gonna be $3 grand. That will make in one day. Minus, you know, I don't know, minus $1,000 or so in expenses. So the business will profit $2 grand in one day. And it's not even going to be, and it's not even a job that's going to tax the machine. I could go over there to the bamboo site right now. It's a fact. I could go over there to the bamboo site right now. I could, you know, load the Bobcat up, put that new bucket on there, and go over there and work all day. But I know the front plate on the Bobcat is needs replacing. $2,000. When I'm going, and you got to keep that in mind when you're doing things like I'm doing things. And not that I'm doing them right or wrong. I'm just, you know, just telling you how I'm thinking. And on the bamboo site, the owner, me and the owner have a deal that I'm gonna, you know, I don't charge him quite as much as I charge other people. He's the only person that I do hourly work for. But digging out bamboo is very hard on the machine. I've identified that, and I know that. That's why I haven't been back over there. The reason I haven't been back over there is because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm not going to get paid on the bamboo work right now. Okay, that's pertinent, right? Because of the deal me and him have, and I'm not going to go into all the specifics of it, but that's the deal, right? We're going to let so much money build up, and then I get a check. And I'm not talking about $1,000. You know, I think right now at the bamboo site, I'm at about $1,000. It's $1,000 I got in the street. Well, you need to get your money. Well, $1,000 ain't gonna make or break me out here, right? Now, if I had to have the money, then I guess he would pay me. Don't get me wrong. But I made that deal with him, so in my spare time, I could, you know, I could come over there for, you know, a day here, a day there, and build up a check. So then by the time I got to September or so, he might owe me $5,000 or $6,000. That was my thinking. And then I get other work too coming in with the Bobcat. And then I break the front plate on the Bobcat. I weld it back and, you know, and hoping for the best. Because, well, I don't want to spend no money on the Bobcat when I'm out here earning, you know, with the mowers pretty good. But I haven't been back over to the bamboo site because I haven't been able to do the tree job. I don't want to be over the bamboo site and me break that front plate to where I got to put it in the shop before I do that pine tree cleanup job for $3 grand. I haven't been able to do the pine tree cleanup job for $3 grand because a dumpster's been backlogged. I finally got a dumpster coming next weekend, but it's 5 or 6 weeks in the making. I don't want to be on a job where I'm not getting paid top dollar and I'm not and I'm rougher on the machine, only for it to break down. And then I got to come out of my freaking pocket, you know, $2,500 or so to get the Bobcat back up and running. That's just if the front plate breaks. It may not. It may, you know. Only for me to go do a $3,000 job where I'm only going to profit $2,000. There ain't no point in doing all these jobs if you can't keep the profit. There ain't no point in running the Bobcat if you can't keep all the money. Well, right, the Bobcat's gonna break down anyway. If it's gonna break down, it's gonna break down. You just gotta you gotta be methodical about it, man. You gotta be methodical about what jobs you take, especially when I ain't hurting for money on the daily because we're cutting so much grass. If I was starving and it was October, well, it'd be totally a totally different thing. Then I would be taking more risk than I'm willing to take now. And I know that I can make more money with the Bobcat than with the lawnmowers. But if I ain't got time, I ain't got time. Well, that's just an excuse, man. It may be, but it's a valid one for sure. My thinking was this. Okay. Let's do that pine tree cleanup job with the dumpster and all. Let's get that $3 grand. Then let's get back over to the bamboo site and dig out some more bamboo until the front plate breaks again. By then, I've been done banked up another $6,000 or $7,000. That's my thinking. Might be wrong. The front plate might break over there at the pine tree cleanup job. The front plate might break. Hell, I might get on the skid steer today to move it out of the shack, and it might damn break just because. I might get on the skid steer and try to start it up, and it might not even run. Who knows? I want to make more money with the Bobcat, but not that one. Because if I blow the engine or do anything and it's there, it's at that point of where major problems start happening with these machines when they start hitting 4,000 to 5,000 hours. I know that. I know enough about that. Well, Ray, I've had a machine last me 8,000 hours. Okay, but that's not typical. Not for that particular engine. Look it up. I'm not willing to put $10,000 in that machine to put another engine in it. It's not big enough for what I want to do. It's not big enough for me to make top dollar out here. I just want to kind of slide on through this summer and get the lawnmowers that I've had to buy paid for, and try to clean up some of the finance stuff that I got, so I can open the door up to buy a new skid steer. That's the plan. Now that plan can change now. This truck breaks down, that plan changes. You know, if this lawnmower blows up, that plan changes. Am I doing things right, man? I don't know. And there is no one idea fixes all issues, because everybody's path is different than somebody else's path. There's a lot of things that are in my business that might not apply to somebody else in their business. And only I know those things. And just because I don't explain them on YouTube doesn't mean that they're not real and they're not, like, you know. I might have to go out here and buy a $2,000 lawnmower, $2,500 lawnmower. I don't want to do that. That's why y'all saw me take the, you know, do all that with that mower last week. I don't know, man, you know. But those are some of the things that I'm going through. Just to let you know, I know it's an hour-long freaking video, and I'm just gonna post it, man. I ain't trying to edit. I ain't finna spend 4 or 5 hours editing it or nothing. I'm gonna post it. If you want to watch it, you can. If you don't want to watch it, you ain't got to. I'm posting it, and it's real. And it ain't negative. It ain't positive. It ain't political. It ain't going after nobody. It ain't, you know, calling out nobody. It's, well, turn the camera on and start talking. That's what it is, and that's what my videos are. And, you know, there's always options, right? We all got options. And y'all know me, I love having me some freaking options. We don't have to watch them if we don't want to. Yeah, y'all. I was just thinking, you know, as I was speaking just then, about all the crap, all the stuff that I've been through to get here today, sitting in front of my house and my shack in my truck with the AC going to get here, and what all it took to get here, and how it'd be so easy to lose with one bonehead move or two bonehead moves. I don't make bonehead moves too often. I do. We all do. But they're not detrimental bonehead moves. How stupid would I feel if I'm on a $1,500 skid steer job and I'll blow the engine up in that Bobcat. Then I have to actually pay to have it towed off of there. Then I actually have to not be able to sell it. I'm kind of counting on being able to sell that machine to get the down payment or part of the down payment to buy a new machine. But I can't make decisions, and I don't know how everybody else does shit, and I don't know where you live or whatever, but I can't make decisions when I got all these moving parts in the lawn care out here in the heat of the summer. I just can't, man. I can't. I don't have time to do enough research. I don't have time to make rational decisions, and I don't know how much money I'm gonna have. Well, you got money, man. You're building a shop, blah, 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 blah. But the reason I'm able to do these things is because I don't make bonehead moves. I don't. Not big ones. We all make bonehead moves, right? You know, but not big ones. I'm real funny about how I spend my money. Are you? Because I know what it took to get it. How many yards I got to cut to pay for an $18,000 lawnmower, y'all? That's what I look at when I'm going to the freaking dealer to buy a lawnmower. How many yards did I have to cut to get this truck? How many yards did I have to cut to get that stupid landscape trailer? How many Bobcats did I have to do to pay for the Bobcat? The attachments, the fuel, the everything, the learning. Just because you own a Bobcat does not mean that you can make money with it. It's a lot more deeper than that. Because when you're on that Bobcat, there's a lot of liability. When you're hauling that Bobcat around, there's a lot of liability. Not only for the machine itself, but for the jobs that you're on, where you might tear something up, not on the machine, but you might tear something up on the property. And it ain't like, you know, nudging an AC with the freaking lawnmower. No. You're talking about destroying the whole AC unit in the side of the house with the Bobcat. Talking about a huge liability. Well, Ray, you got insurance for all that. True enough. But do you know what that would do to my self-confidence if I did some bonehead shit like that? So like when you have a car accident or a truck accident or whatever, you know, you bump into somebody, or you know, somebody pulls out in front of you and you hit them or whatever, and then you know, and then you know, the next time you get behind the wheel, you're, at least for me, I'm a little timid, right? I'm a little bit weary about everything. That's how I feel when that's how I would feel if I did something with the Bobcat. If you don't have no confidence out here, you can't make a lot of money. And the older I get, the more confident I get, as long as nothing tears up or breaks, or I don't fall into avoidable traps. And that's true. Today, I'm gonna go cut one of these 100. Well, what is it? I'm gonna go cut the mosh pit over here. And that pays $180, and I'm gonna cut the property associated with the mosh pit, and it's all from the same customer, and that's $130. And then I'm gonna come home, and guess what, y'all? I got to fool with that little lawnmower again. And I could go buy another one. I don't want to spend my money like that. I don't want to spend $2,500 on a freaking lawnmower I already got. I want to hold that $2,500 up, so so that'd be $2,500 more dollars I could put toward a new skid steer. I'm gonna get me another skid steer, and I'm gonna get one with freaking AC. And then we're gonna ball out. I'm laying low right now, calculating and plotting. What's the end game plan? What's my end game plan? To make as much money as I can before I retire. That's my end game. My end game is not to build up a business and sell it. That's not my end game. I might do that, but I don't think that that's really what I'm gonna do. Damn, this video's long, ain't it, y'all? Sorry about that. I'll kick it.